planes and Hamptons, and I think that's what people want to see. I do. We eat it up on Beverly Hills. We eat it up. And so I think
but we also eat up the Hollywood dynasty aspect. They need somebody in New York, filthy rich, but like connected with Hollywood in some way, married to, what I'm saying?
There's so many people like that. There's so many people like that. I mean, they're not going to necessarily do it, but you have so many famous actresses, which are not, Nicole Kidman or Julia Roberts or Jennifer. You have people that will actually do it. It's just a matter of finding them. But I would get one of those and then I would get really rich. And like, there's that whole, and diverse, very, very diverse, but there's that whole Gossip Girl. And like, I think people like seeing the really wealthy life of New York City. And we really have never seen that in this particular show. I think that's what I would do. Maybe people don't want that, but we have basically relatable on the OC and all these other things, and that's not cutting it. So I think people want to escape their lives and I don't think that's tone deaf. We're going to have to make it very diverse like New York is, but there's a way to do that and just have like really people that just don't live in this world, like people that, like,
this is where I miss Joan Rivers so much. You know what I mean? You could have had Joan. You could have had Joan come on occasionally. Melissa. Oh, I don't know.
Melissa's everything. Talk to me about your text that you received from the one, the only Miss Candiace Dillard. Now, we revealed before that you received texts, and you said that she said she was coming back, and I said I thought they were red herrings, and now it seems Candiace is coming back. I mean, that's the latest. Nothing's been announced, but I do think everyone's going to be back to RHOP. But let's hear what your text says over there.
Well, this was actually a personal DM on IG, and I had shared the latest episode that you had put up, basically with us discussing that Candy is coming back. Candiace, and I said I posted on my Instagram at Behind Velvet Rope, and I do weekly Bravo recaps. Take a listen. I told y'all our girl Candiace was coming back to Real Housewives of Potomac. She gets in my DMs and she has an eye roll face and then a laughing emoji. I take this completely as she knew she was coming back the entire time, and she is playing with us all, and she is 100% coming back.
And is she thrilled that we're discussing this about her? Is she upset?
I don't think she's upset at all. I think with Candiace, and I've known this with Ashley, and I feel like Monique is, I think all those women, if they have a problem with you, they let you know. Like Candiace, I don't think holds back. I think Candiace would text me and say, why did you reveal this? I think, to your point, Candiace is very smart. And I think Candiace I think she is absolutely a puppeteer, in there playing all of us. So I do agree with you. I think the text to me was very strategic. And I think she's happy that we shared it. And then she went on, of course, Twitter and wrote, well, when one thing ends, another begins, gets her trending for 2 days, but she's back. And I don't think she cares that we talked about it.
I agree with all of that. Just in general, my experience with housewives in general is like, if they have a problem with you, they will contact you directly and just put it out there and be like, listen, I'm upset. Like, what did you do? I agree. Second, I do think that Candiace obviously is looking at Behind the Velvet Rope over here. Listen, she's been on. Third of all, we never said anything bad about her ever. I mean, I have nothing. We just were discussing whether she's coming back. So there's no reason for her to be mad. But I do agree, if she was mad, she would contact you. She would contact me. Like, I think she would. And I listen, nobody's saying, is Giselle coming back? Okay, it's obvious she is, but no one talking about Robin, no one talking about anyone else. Everyone's just talking about whether Candiace is coming back. So I agree with you. I think she is a puppeteer, and I mean that as a compliment. I think she is like this Sarah. Now I got my friend Sarah. I was on that podcast over there, which seems to get this press. She's hooking up with him. I'm just going to send this. I just think it's weird. Not that she doesn't love you. I think it's weird out of just, yes, you moved. There was a reason. I think it's weird. In my experience, these housewives, they don't reach out just to check up on you. Nothing personal. They don't reach out to check up on me.
Thanks a lot,
either.
David.
It's just, there is that gene that it is mostly about them, if not all. And I just think she's like, this one has a microphone in front of her, and now she's hooked up with this one. And like, either whether you put it out here or on your own. And I just think she's like, let's just set this. And then, right, she does that post. Well, that post was not innocent. That post was on purpose. I mean, sorry, with whatever you have going on with your movies and your IMDb and your SAG card and your music, at this point, there's nothing else people think that post is about, except they don't think it's about your marriage, your mother. It's obviously people's minds go to RHOP, and you knew just what you were doing. And brilliant job. Let me clap for Candiace.
Brilliant
job, well done, because we're talking about it here again, and this and that. You know, so
I gotta listen to her podcast a lot more too, because maybe she reveals a lot more. The podcast is So That's What We're Doing, and I know they're back putting out new episodes. Maybe she reveals a lot there too. It's just, you know, you and I are it's so hard to keep up with all the things.
It is, but I agree. And so that is listen, an eye roll and then a smiley face doesn't mean she's mad. And I agree. If she were mad, she would forget the fact that she hasn't been on here since 2020. She would still reach out to me as if like I owed her something, and we talked yesterday, and she would rip me into a new one, seriously. So I do think she's not mad, and we love you, Candy Gal. And, you know, lots of people think she should go. Lots of people think she should stay. I'm okay with her staying. Listen, I like Candiace. She was nice to me, and she didn't come on last season. So maybe I'll start talking bad about her at some point. But right now, like, you know, maybe you'll come on this season and you could still be in my good graces, but I don't mind her on the show. I think she delivers. Now, speaking of housewives, who I told you, it came to my attention because I'm minding my own business here. Listen, I don't listen to podcasts. When I'm not doing this podcast, the last thing I want to do is listen to a housewives podcast. I just need to detox and de-stress and get away from this business. However,
yes.
So I'm minding my own business and I start getting these DMs. Apparently this hot bag of wind that opens her mouth and has nothing of any importance to say. This woman named Jill Zarin, one of the most annoying people possibly that I've ever encountered in my existence of a human being. Now, a rumor is, so I mean, you know, Andy, of course, has gone and said that he feels that she's the most annoying housewife, and said she's back at girls trip, and implied that's the end. It's what Andy implied. What do I know? Just revealing what I've read. But Ms. Zarin and I, we hate each other. Now, no, I mean, we do. Like, I fucking hate Jill
Just
Zarin.
call it like it is. Okay.